I know you have established one of the first SaaS companies in Asia, predominantly focused on customer experience, and from conceptualization to execution and to subsequent growth and beyond. Now, what are your beliefs and biases that you had to battle with in this process?
Thank you for asking that. I'm not sure if it was biases or more or less ignorance and immaturity of the Asian investment community. Having pioneered one of the first few B2B SaaS platforms, and nonetheless enterprise SaaS out of Singapore, is not very common. I think Chennai is the headquarter of SaaS in terms of Asia Pacific, but never really seen a very mature market until we started to, I guess, build awareness around this region. So there's also only around 3% of capital invested in startups and women-led companies, mainly because I think investment firms are mostly run by men. And when they speak with male founders, they tend to focus on what's possible and growth. When they speak with females and women-led startups, they tend to steer the conversation towards mitigating risks and managing obstacles. And so the difference is maybe it's the confidence, and they haven't seen enough risk-taking in the female community. And I think, with that story that, our colleague actually just mentioned earlier, it's really about how do you envision yourself to be bolder, and how do you take more risk and lean into more risks, and so that you do fail more, because men tend to fail a lot more often and women are very careful. So some of these biases are not really inherent in the startups, are just because it's run by men, and also the tech community and the VCs are run by men. So this is the nature of the game. And so those are, the simple biases that I've been managing and, experiencing, but it's really about ignorance and immaturity of the market.
Great. I'm sure the men here will take a leaf or two out of what you said. Before you go and we say bye to you, Anna, one more question. How can women engage and create better networks to sustain their future? Quickly, in 2 minutes, if you can tell me this.
This is a tough one because there's so many. When we go through life, and as a female executive and female in tech, we've seen so much of our own gender actually being more critical of each other, and really trying to, pressure ourselves to rise up or even one up each other rather than supporting each other. And so there's been a long-standing habit of that. But more importantly, I think, and it's changed a lot, obviously, in the last few years, but we've witnessed women easily just agreeing to the first no's and rejections so lightly. I think also we tend to allow noise to affect us. And even as a female founder for myself, I have an immense amount of imposter syndrome and a lot of insecurity. And my insecurity comes from so much noise in the startup community. So-and-so raised 100 million, so-and-so scaled, much faster. A unicorn is already, being born out of, 3-4 years in the game. So you tend to really reflect on your own success or your own company. And then you go back and slump into, this depression. What am I doing wrong? That I'm not chasing the game enough. I'm not invincible enough. I'm not leaning more to risks. I'm not taking enough risks. What is it? And a lot of it also is really building communities around you. We are who we hang out with, primarily in our circles. And females should probably look at surrounding themselves with higher senior communities where they can really, whether it's for profit or nonprofit, it doesn't really matter. But like-minded groups and networks can really propel us to the next level.